Thank you very much, Stunner. Well, Mirage, I think it's definitely a better shout for FaZe than Train is when you look at the maps historically. But with that said, we're speaking to the coach of NRG, and he said it was a fairly decent map for NRG as well. And I don't disagree. It looks like a pretty decent map for them on paper, so this will be a tough one, I think, for FaZe, regardless.
Pretty decent setup on this A site. Double under balcony.
Yeah, there we go. Cirque starts off nicely. Ethan, another one as well, and FaZe have just been ripped apart. This pistol round is not going to last too long. NRG, they'll be pleased with that.
And that setup is just designed to absolutely destroy that A play coming out from FaZe, and that's exactly what happened, particularly Cirque with the USPs. I think he had a 3K as well on Train. Like, whenever this man has a USP in his hands, he's clicking on heads. There is no doubt.
Last year, Cirque was an absolute beast as well. It was definitely one of the highlights for NRG, and it looks like this year, actually, NRG might be on for an even better performance than what we saw from them last year. Like, I know last year, I think, actually, IEM Sydney last year might have been their first LAN appearance with this new roster. Well, new back then. But now they've got all that experience under their belt. They've got a year. Obviously, Tarek slotting into the roster as well, has a lot of that LAN experience. And now, we're into a position where NRG is looking like a real threat.
Well, they definitely could have been a contender at that Star Series LAN. I felt like they, against Fnatic, got a little bit unfortunate. Lost two very, very close games in the semi-final. It could have been them going up against Na'Vi in the grand final. And some people might say they might have even put up a better fight in the grand final.
Oh, well, who knows? Speaking of better fights, well, FaZe are putting up a bit of a fight here on this anti-eco. Olafmeister gets a couple, and Reigns also chimed in with one. It's going to be very swiftly ended.
Not cleanly ended, though. Lots of guns there dropped for NRG, which is really going to hinder their economy, and now FaZe is going to move on to this AK bite. See what the approach is going to be from the lads. Like to see some up-tempo. Obviously, Rain was pretty quiet in the last map, which, considering it was a Train, it's a bit of a worrying sign. Like, you'd be pointing to some of these lesser stars to really step up into and take a lot of the emphasis now that Nico's not here on this FaZe Clan roster, and they'll need to do so if they're going to actually make this map competitive. So I want to see them start to set up those players, but that's not a good start. Double spray through the top mid smoke.
Yeah, and Ethan, he's been given so many opportunities there with the Mag 7. Doesn't really get it all going in the end. Guardian will finish him off. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is looking like another difficult round ahead here for FaZe. Even with Daps here just sitting with the SMG close in CT, it's going to make a bomb plant really difficult. There is no utility for FaZe to get into this bomb site with.
That's
they don't
right.
have any smokes.
Yeah, there's no smokes to cut down the angles, unfortunately, so they're really just going to have to cross their fingers and try to put the bomb down, but they won't even get the opportunity to do so. They're getting shut out before they can even make it across to the bomb site. Like, these orcs just destroying them.
You can't crawl across a bomb site against an orc. Tarek will quite be the one to finish things off here. Olafmeister has definitely had his moments in this series thus far, and I would say probably has been the pick of the bunch today for FaZe. But a 1v3, that feels a little bit out of the realms of possibility now, especially giving up so much HP, and Daps actually gets the job done from CT spawn with the SMG. That's 3 on the trot for NRG, not to mention everything that was going on in Train. It's the ideal start here to Mirage.
3 guns saved over as well. So now an opportunity for them to start to build up their money going up against this Deagle buy coming out from FaZe. Don't want to be hitting any snags and dropping extra guns where you don't need to. Very comfortable look so far from NRG. No, they had a bit of a bumpy first half on Train and a bit of a bumpy first couple of rounds, but ever since that, look, they've just looked calm and collected. They look like they're trying to maximize their percentages of winning overall and always playing to their strengths.
It's probably a good thing to be doing. You don't want to give any opportunities over to FaZe that they don't really deserve. I think NRG has been fairly solid throughout the day today. Bang. See you, mate.
Dear Lord.
Get out of here.
These orcs just look terrifying at the moment.
It's like you've been invited to the backyard barbecue, but in fact you weren't invited. You just invited yourself. Now you're the barbecue.
So 2 guns lost to those Deagles. Overall, fairly clean stuff from NRG, and they're off to a pretty good start. 4-0, not to mention the fact that their economy's pretty good. It's all right. 2 of their players still a little bit on the poor side, but it's not like they're going to be double reset or anything crazy in the near future. And FaZe Clan, they haven't even really had a chance to play this game so far. Pistol round, they got absolutely blown out of the server. First gun round, they get double sprayed through the top mid smoke. It's like, well,
what are you going to do?
What have I done wrong? Start to have a bit of a victim complex. Haven't done anything wrong, FaZe. Try again.
I don't know if you... I don't know. I don't know if the Australian government would agree, obviously, with the visa situation. Something's definitely going wrong there, but that's unfortunate. I mean, FaZe is going to have to, I guess, suck it up at this point, right? It just seems like that's the situation that they're in.
I mean, they tried so hard to fix that game against Chiefs, but still FaZe were able to win that one, so don't think the Australian government really care anymore at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Dren has opened up, though, onto DAP, so that's a small light of hope here for FaZe in the second gun round. With
Rain creeping up connector, you might be able to find the timing onto Breeze, which would create even more pressure. Does get bailed out by Ethan. Good push from the man, and now FaZe, Dren's locked in Palace behind a smoke, and they're trying to crawl out this ramp area, and the rotations have come in pretty well. You can already see Tarek's pushed all the way through B apartments, full information for the man, and every second that FaZe waits, he gets closer and closer on the flank, but they look aware. Look at Olafmeister.
Yeah, but Tarek is going to spot the shadow.
Great
onto the head.
Great crosshair placement from the man.
Indeed, and Tarek gets the two-piece. So that's the bomb dropped as well. FaZe really in a problematic situation once again. Tarek just doesn't get the timing right there, peeking around behind him. It's going to give the frag over to Guardian. With all that said and done, though, NRG still have the numbers advantage, but I speak too soon. Guardian will bring it back. Cirque's in a nice angle. Misses the shot, however. 15 seconds, though, on the clock here, and FaZe are going to have to get a wriggle on. Guardian's the one with the bomb. He's just sitting the line, watching jungle, but he's going to be forced to plant now. And in the meanwhile, Adren actually gets Cirque. That means that Guardian can plant safe, makes the job so much more difficult for Breezy. But he might well still be able to make this one happen. Couple of quick headshots onto Adren. Guardian very low on HP, but it's not going to matter.
Huge performance from Adren. Opens around up and closes it out for FaZe. So that man's really stepping up here. Which would probably be your least likely candidate of the four to actually do so for FaZe, but we all know he's capable of it. Looked like it was meant to be an NRG round right from the start, but that's why you can never count out FaZe from time to time. These guys just dig so deep sometimes, and all of a sudden one player can just explode and multi-frag so hard in an unlikely circumstance and really dig FaZe out of a rut. Now NRG lost a lot of guns to those pistols time and time again, and unfortunately it's starting to show in terms of the economy. And looking at the buy, Famous 2 pistols and an AWP that's not even being held by Cirque. Bit of a rough state of affairs, all things considered.
Well, Tarek is spotting middle. There's a few FaZe players headed in his direction, so here's a chance, and it's very swiftly going to disappear.
Opening frag from FaZe, and it's their opportunity to be able to come straight back into this game and put NRG on the eco and make it a 3-4 scoreline and really start to trade rounds heavily with the CT side. This is an opportunity they don't want to be throwing away.
Dren is quite keen to chase Daps down. Not going to get a whole lot out of that one. Although, that aside, he's got control of Palace.
Looks like with the bomb, FaZe starting to edge towards this B split. Look at the rotations, though. What's caused that? Why are they running off the bomb site? NRG's got full A ramp control. They've got full info.
Yeah, in fact, if anything, anyone should be running over toward the B bomb site right now. Cirque, he's able to hold on for a moment, but it doesn't really last too long against a player like Olaf. Bomb will go down here for FaZe. It's looking much better now for them on the T side here. They've got the ball rolling.
And there had to be some kind of miscommunication, either that or the fact that NRG felt like they were in a pretty disadvantageous circumstance due to their weaponry and the lack of utility. And the fact that it was a 4-on-4, so maybe they were calling for a bit of a gamble stack over towards A, but it's at the worst possible time, unfortunately. That timing running back into market really did not favour them, with FaZe running out the B apartments and executing that split just then. So there you go. FaZe back in the driver's seat of this game, I would say. Getting their second on the board and now facing 2 guns saved over on top of a bunch of saving players, I would imagine. So a pretty good chance to close out the next, and then now we're talking about a back and forth game.
Which is pretty much what we saw on Train as well, it felt like. Until we sort of got right toward the end there where NRG really got on top on that CT side. But so far, we don't really know exactly how this one is going to pan out. FaZe have started off with a couple of decent gun rounds, but you always get the sense that there's going to be something more in the back pocket here for NRG. Smoke's going to rain into mid from FaZe. One for window, one for short. And Ethan, well, not much to see there. There's good mid-control being established, though, by FaZe. Just methodically working their way through with that utility. Ensuring that no one from NRG is going to pose much of a threat. And now with that control of mid in the favor of FaZe, they have all the options that they really could want. Rain is just going to continue to creep his way up in connector, look for anything. But nothing is presenting itself. Not yet, anyway.
Playing with fire a bit up close against these pistols, but it is only the USPs. So as long as he's able to control his aim, which you would probably trust Rain to do at most times, should be totally fine.
Ethan's the danger man, though. He's got the AUG, and he actually is posted up on the line in towards connector right now. So if Rain takes his peek a little preemptively, Ethan can take the frag onto Rain, maybe then swing toward main. Deal with things that way. Olaf trying to fake over on B, but it seems like Daps is just holding strong for the moment. No one rotating across. Olaf does actually get rid of Daps, and Rain, well, he finds the danger man of Ethan, and that should well and truly be the round over and done with. Breezy trying to stay alive as long as possible there in connector, but it's not going to happen. 3 to 4 FaZe making that slow but steady march.
Yep. Only one gun lost in the last. Look at the money on FaZe. Very, very healthy for the lads over there. Over on the side of NRG, they're actually going to take another save because they had 4K across the board, and you think about how scary they look with those AUGs in the opening rounds, and some of those rounds on train. In particular, the AWP is doing a lot of work for them as well. Mirage is a map where you can definitely make the lack of utility work. It's not a necessity for the CT side a lot of the time, as you can make that mid-round aggression in towards middle from connector or ladder work. You can pop flash over towards the B apartments or in towards A main or something like that. So you can definitely make it work compared to some other maps, but looks like NRG aren't really interested in that. They want to lean back on their comfort. They want the AUGs on these sharp rifling players. They want the AWP for Cirque.
No problem there for Guardian.
Like pretty clean stuff for FaZe. No guns lost again. Seem in pretty good control. Rain's got control of the connector. Dren's providing overwatch from this palace area, making sure no one's running across that A bomb site. And Qudos very much just spread out, waiting for NRG to get over aggressive, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, they kind of have to at this point, don't they? 3v5, you need to be pushing something to try and bring back some control of the round. But in reality, it is just not going to happen. Cirque here with the Deagle on his own. Tarek, no chance of trading that one out even, so it'll be the 5 guns through for FaZe. Things are going quite swimmingly for them indeed. But it still is early days here on Mirage. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
So let's see why NRG went for that double save, and you do see it's a double AWP coming out from the lads. This time Tarek's got the second one. And all the AUGs you could ever want.
Well, double AWP was actually very strong for NRG on train.
Yep, but it's, some might say, less prominent on a map like Mirage, or this mid-fight seems to be going the way of FaZe. YNK doubles itself down, so the man advantage for the CTs, but just as soon as I say that, Tarek's punishing Olafmeister for trying to walk out B apartments, which is not too crazy considering how much emphasis NRG were putting on mid. Usually when you see that 1-3-1 coming out, you will often just start to put pressure on the extremities because you know there may be an opening there with only one player potentially towards that side of the map. And they usually are in pretty common angles, pretty common sort of areas that you can often pre-fire and check and inform your guesses. But when Tarek's posted up on an off angle with the AWP, you can't really blame him for getting picked. So now 3-on-3, FaZe make their way up connector. It's a double CT setup for NRG.
Difficult one to hit for Cirque, but an important one. Double AWP retake onto the A bomb site. Not going to be too easy here for NRG to make work, especially now they've pretty much thrown all of their utility in. That kill, though, from Tarek will help out immensely. Now it comes down to the push, actually, from Adren, which is shut down by Cirque. And Yanko, can the man himself manage to find a 1v3 clutch? It starts off okay. He gets Cirque and Daps down very low, finishes off both of them, and is the impossible going to happen. Tarek starts to push his way on forward. Yanko might just clutch this out. Not quite. Needed the headshot, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, Tarek's not got a kit.
He doesn't have a kit. Yanko's won it. He's got the 4K and he's won the round. Goodness me, FaZe.
There you go.
They're going to be cheering.
Not quite the ace, as he doesn't actually close out the round, but he got the 2 entries in towards mid and killed both of those players towards CT.
I think there was a bit of a wry grin coming out there from Olaf as we swapped over to the camera. I can't believe that's happened.
He's like, Nico had to learn it from somewhere. Now I'm hearing where all these stories came from.
That's true.
Pretty sharp shooting from the man. There you go. Huge performance.
I would have thought that there was going to be a defuse kit somewhere there for NRG because they had so many dead players in CT.
It's not to be.
There you go.
And Tarek, he's respecting the hierarchy. He's going to give the AWP to Cirque rather than hold it himself. Half bar coming out around the AWP. NRG can try to give themselves chances to do damage, but again, Daps, as we saw in the last map from FaZe, I think it was, Daps throws his life away very, very early on with that CZ, which makes FaZe's job a little bit easier. Looks like FaZe now grouping up towards this B area, no? Dropping the bomb, heading over towards A, not fully decided what they want to be doing yet, but Olaf is holding on to that B app's control. But look at this stack for NRG. The bomb's starting to move over towards that B side of the map as well. It's the wall of smokes towards the right side of A, it looks like, just to try to bait out some rotations, perhaps. They're just going to send Rain in, looking for some players, and when he doesn't see any players towards there, do the B players turn around is what I'm wondering.
Well, they don't have a lot of time to work.
That's what I
Bomb's
was
going to
thinking.
take, 10 or 15 seconds actually to get across to the A bomb side, and in that small window of time, anything can really go wrong. So it does seem like FaZe have actually been forced into committing to...
No, they're back towards A. Straight through unders.
No, never mind. They're faking it out. Fake me out. Ethan goes down quickly. So that was kind of the make or break for the round for NRG. If Ethan was able to slow that bomb down in any fashion at all, that's where things could have gone wrong. But FaZe have made the correct decision. That's really smart as well. They've proven to be pretty good on these anti-ecos so far. And Olaf might may well just clean up the last 2 here. Or he gets shot in the side of the head by Tarek. Whatever you reckon.
There you go, FaZe. After that first little start for NRG, well and truly into things. Tarek looks like he wants to hold on to this AWP though, but won't get an opportunity to do so. So NRG heading pretty close to full loss bonus at this point.
Breezy's
Should be able to buy another double AWP if they want it, Jordan.
I mean, do they want it? That's the question. I suppose you probably do.
I think the AWPs did a lot of the work in a lot of those last couple of rounds. And you have to say, if Yanko doesn't complete that 1-on-3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly. It was a 1-on-3. If he doesn't manage to get that, then, I mean, the double AWPs looked like they were actually having an impact.
Yep.
Tarek's already gone for the AWP here, so that pretty much assures it.
Yep.
It's been a very backwards and forwards game here on Mirage. We're at 6-4. I say backwards and forwards, right? But NRG won 4 in a row now, and FaZe has won 6 in a row. But it feels like the rounds have been really quite close a lot of the time.
I think there was a big missed opportunity for FaZe after Yanko wins that 1-on-3 for him to just call a BM timeout.
Yeah.
But, I'll forgive him.
Well, I'm glad. I'm sure he's glad as well that you've forgiven him.
Alright, so straight back into another gun round. It looks like FaZe going to mix things up. Straight into this A play very, very early on. But here's the A main aggression coming out from NRG. Gets punished. Only a 1-for-1.
Not sure how pleased you'll be with that as a CT side. There's only the 2 players here on the A site, and a bit of movement over on B right now from NRG as we do see Tarek start to rotate back. A bit of a quicker rotate for him now in market, though the kill there from Ethan is just going to give a bit more breathing room to NRG.
Tarek's still posted up on this B apartments line. You do see Breezy just holding for anyone trying to sneak up connector on these A players, because it's a pretty common play for the Ts to try to go for when they are in a bit of a disadvantage. Try to find the opening. It's only 4 CTs. There's got to be a gap somewhere. And if you're able to exploit it, that could be your ticket back into the round when you're at a man disadvantage.
That's a good opener for Guardian. Does establish a 3v3 now, and a great flashbang. It's going to force Cirque off the line. FaZe starting to work their way into this bomb site, but they still need to actually hold control of it for quite a while because the bomb isn't with them. Yanko's coming along now, but in the time that it's taken him to get to the bomb site, Adren has fallen, and it's just Guardian locking down the line. The smokes are up, of course, but only for a matter of time, and the incendiary does go down from NRG, forcing another smoke out here from FaZe, which would have been fantastic to hold off the retake. And in fact, they're not even going to need a retake because Cirque and Tarek, the double AWP setup, there we go. That's what it's used for. Nicely done. NRG get their 5th.
I mean, they had that meme stat from Mouse Sports in their first game about the AWP kills. I think it's going to be the complete inverse for NRG.
Yeah.
The AWP and the AWP kills compared to the M4. I'd love to see that.
Where do we go from here for FaZe? Now that we know and have established that a double AWP setup is there for NRG, a lot of utility, of course, for FaZe available. They had plenty of money. They still have a decent amount of money, actually.
They're going to go try it back straight into this A play.
A very fast A play this time by the looks of things. Want to get that bomb down early and force the retake for NRG with the double AWP. Not a bad play for FaZe, assuming they can actually get that bomb plant down. Dap's flashed away. Rain will manage to secure the kill.
So on the retake, NRG, they've tried to just hold on to connector and take middle off of FaZe, which they've done successfully, but they lost CT spawn.
It's very fast on the retake from NRG, or at least the attempt of it. You say they lost CT spawn. Well, Tarek is perhaps going to regain control of that. We're now back into a 3v3, but because of how quick that bomb plant went down, NRG have to move quickly, and they have a player in ramp. So that is going to be a major asset for them, but right now no one from FaZe is peeking that angle. And Adren has managed to get rid of Tarek, so we're still playing catch-up right now for NRG as they work their way into the bomb site, and Olafmeister is unseen. And the unseen strike is the deadliest for FaZe.
2 quick taps from the man, just shut down any of NRG's hopes of winning that round. You can see NRG going through the motions and trying to complete the retake how they have probably a million times. Just going and taking that mid-control, making sure no one's in towards underpass and going for a bit of a cheeky flank and just letting the bomb go down. But as soon as they lose Daps, who was playing quite passively in towards, maybe not passively enough, in towards CT spawn, gets a lot easier for FaZe.
Oh, Adren, he doubled down. Breezy and Cirque just say, see you later, mate. And then Ethan, well, for his own right, he's kind of said, see you later, mate, because, well, that was pretty sharp.
It's good to see these international players adapting to Australian culture.
Needed to see
picking up all the phrases.
I'll invite them around for a barbecue. You can teach them a few more, Pili. Well off, though. He's got more important work to be doing than heading to Pili's backyard bash.
What a backyard it is. One small balcony.
Yeah.
See how many players I can actually fit on there.
Daps and Ethan, I don't know about this round for them. Money is very, very weak for NRG. There's not too many rounds left in this half. Rain's gone on a bit of an expedition, but it's not so favorable in the end for FaZe. Well, this is a bit of nice damage being done by NRG. If they can take the AWP through there on Daps, even that is going to be fantastic.
Bit of an upgrade, you know. Slightly better weapon, an AWP than a FAMAS.
Yep. Still won't really help the buy too much for NRG. Well, if they force in here, they don't get a great buy next. If they save here, they get a great buy next.
I think they're going to go for it.
They are forcing. Well, I mean, as much of a force as this is, when you've got really your worst gun, you know, you've only got one SMG there. It still looks pretty good. Yeah.
Depending on who you put that on as well, you know, you send maybe that SMG into A main in the mid round or something like that. You can still get the work done with it.
Yeah. Probably need to be getting the work done on it.
All right, here's a change up from FaZe. They've been running the mid control. They've been going towards A this time. Very, very quick one over towards B. Fast Archer smoke. Molotov expended from the CTs.
A quick A play worked, so why not a quick B play? Let's see how this one does turn out and how it pans out for FaZe. Already, Yanko has dropped. The rest, well, they've stalled themselves in the apartments. Maybe they thought that your balcony was actually much nicer than it is. But Guardian has dispatched of Breezy.
Couldn't even get out onto the balcony, Jordan, as the Molotov got dropped. When they expanded it with the smoke, I think it was the classic case of the T's getting caught on each other in the apartments.
Happens.
Happens to everyone.
It's a very, very small choke point. Adren will continue to keep putting pressure on. Although at the moment he actually remains unseen. No bullets fired, hasn't been spotted. NRG are comfortable enough to rotate away from the B bomb site. Now we see a bit of utility going down on A, which enables Cirque to spot and set himself on a line. Keeping an eye on Palace for the moment. Mid still fairly dirty for NRG, although Cirque may well have just spotted something going on there, so he throws a flashbang in, and FaZe need to decide what they're going to do fairly shortly. You've got 36 seconds left on the clock. And really, they have control of mid, but they don't have control of anything remotely close to the bomb sites just yet. Short is still covered off by Tarek. Guardian waiting to see if there's going to be a mistake here from NRG, but it doesn't look like that is going to be the case. A lot of noise being made, so Tarek will know what's coming and sets himself and deals with Rain quite nicely. The pre-fire as well as Guardian rocks himself around the corner, but bomb is not going to be retrievable here for Olaf. 1v3. Just save the AK. Won't go down after time, which is good at least to see.
NRG, now that they've got a bit more control of the money, stringing a couple CT rounds together towards the end of the half. Very far removed from each other, that 4-round lead at the start, and then just stringing a couple together towards the end. See if they can get a 7th on the board. As for FaZe, a lot of emphasis on the bomb sites the last couple of rounds. Would like to see them maybe go back towards that mid control where they were finding a lot of opportunities. Seemed like there was a fair amount of ease that they were able to find picks or potentially get their way into connector.
Damage done, but no kills coming out from the initial exchange in round number 15, the last of the half.
Look at this setup. Crossfire between Sandwich and under balcony.
Yeah, but Adren actually catches Cirque napping just a little bit. Still, it's not going to be favourable enough. Daps will get the trade, does give away his position there in Sandwich, but he's being covered off by Ethan. So right now, NRG are still looking fairly solid, although Olaf gets the timing right. Still a trade coming out from NRG, though. Rain with no HP to play with at all and needed the headshot. He gets it, keeps it alive now for FaZe. He'll push his way into CT spawn as well, and I'd be surprised if he got this frag. Tarek will finish it off. 8-7 again at the end of the first half.
Good turnaround from NRG to keep things nice and competitive, and let's see how they go on their T side. This is a pretty comfortable map for them, so you'd expect them to keep it nice and close as it has been.
Yeah, a few questions to answer, but all of that, of course, is going to be coming up in the second half.
take it. Yeah, reminding myself to just let go. Don't wonder how far I can fall. Don't look down.
Back into the second half now here on Mirage, and once again we find ourselves with an 8-7 scoreline after the first half. It doesn't tell you a whole lot, I don't think, on Mirage. Certainly you can draw some conclusions on Train when the scoreline is 8-7, but Mirage is a bit more of a balanced map. So this, I think, is still kind of anyone's game.
100%. Pistol is not going to tell us a whole lot at this point. Just going to see if that's going to allow the CTs to get off to a real nice start and potentially get the AWP into Guardian's hands early on, or whether they're going to have to take a couple of saves to sort of get to that point.
Looks like it might be a quick play toward the B bomb site here for NRG. We're seeing, what is that, a flash or a smoke going across into short. And the rest of the NRG boys busting out of the apartments, but Rain and Olafmeister, they're shutting down the B bomb site right now. It seems to be closed. Breezy, though, he's got a battering ram. He's opened it up. Finding 3 kills with that Glock. Now swaps over to the USP, and Breezy on for the ace, but it might well be Daps that finishes it off. And it is. NRG will be happy with that regardless. 8 apiece. A very important pistol round to win.
Good start from them. As I said, that's going to really hamper Guardians' chances of getting the AWP into the man's hands nice and early on. As for the rest of them, I mean, they could probably make do with the rifles, get a couple of AUGs or M4s together. But they're actually forcing into this one. So maybe potentially leaning on that third round buy rather than the second.
Quite a few SMGs invested in here by NRG, as well as those Galil. So the head armor here for FaZe may well make something happen. Guardian with the scout. We have seen he's a bit of a menace already. Did some work on Train with that weapon.
NRG, a lot of emphasis set around mid, waiting for FaZe to potentially get aggressive or over-aggressive towards this catwalk or connector area through these smokes. And once they start to fizzle out, they are going to make their progression up towards this area. With so many plays centralized in mid, I'm interested to see what the approach is actually going to be for NRG. Wouldn't be surprised if this turns into some kind of a short split, considering they've got literally no emphasis on A. No one on the extremities towards ramp or palace, so that kind of limits their options in terms of what they're going to turn this round into, I would imagine.
Looks like you're right. At least a bit more presence being shown towards short and toward B than anything else. Bomb's kind of rotated in the direction of T-Apps, but look at this from Olafmeister. The sneaky assassin once again. We saw it on A in the last half, this time creeping up short. Does get the one. Rain, another for FaZe. So it's trades, but right now I'm not sure trades are enough for FaZe, given the weaponry advantage that NRG do possess. Gonna need to see some untraded kills, and that might just be it from Yanko, just streaming his way out from market.
It's the key frag of the round, and he does have the opportunity to be able to one-shot Daps as well, and Rain's on the flank.
This is looking decent, actually, for FaZe, particularly with that shot from Yanko. This guy, you talk about the firepower of FaZe. Yanko's finished it off himself. All 3 go his way. Well, there we go. That's what you want. He's got the cheeky smile coming out. I thought he was going to try and play it off like, yeah, I expected that to happen. But I think he knows himself. That was pretty good.
He's looking very serious.
He was,
Very
for a
serious
moment.
about winning this game. He's showing it as well. So that's, look at Daps. Very painful one for them to lose over on the side of NRG for sure.
Losing to a coach. You know the memes about it, right? I mean, Manager, coach, same diff.
NRG forcing into this one. Fairly spread out approach from them. Very quick up the underpass, trying to catch a timing on boosting into window, but the one-way absolutely destroys them. Losing players right and left in mid right now. Although Breeze has caught the timing, snuck out Palace with all the players emphasizing on middle towards FaZe Clan.
In that AK, he says, what a great spray down as well onto Olaf. All of a sudden, this round starting to slip away for FaZe. Yanko, where are you? We need you again. Guardian, he's got the FAMAS. Yanko's got a Galil. They start to rotate their way across to the B bomb site. Guardian has an opportunity here if he pushes quickly, but he doesn't quite get there in time. Daps is just going to sneak around the corner.
They've been swindled.
They have indeed.
Tarek on the 9 HP normally wouldn't be able to make too much impact, but if he finds the right timing, could shut this round down Closed it out for NRG. Nice open plant.
Can it happen again? But the other way. Oh, it certainly looks like it. There we go. Tarek just bides his time, and now it's Yanko in the 1v2 clutch.
No kit. He's got to pick up the pace.
He knows it. He's got those running shoes on. Hope he's been practicing.
There he goes. Picked one up.
I hear Yanko did spend a bit of time in the retake server, so here we go. Let's see if that's going to pay off for him. I think he might well have run out of time, but that's a great shot on the Daps now. Just needs one more tickle onto Tarek. But he actually grabs a kit there, so he's got some more time.
Oh.
Yanko's done it again.
Every
2v1.
single time.
An absolute madman. And he's very pleased with himself. As you would be.
Oh,
I mean, I think he's winning a lot of fans right now. Not that he didn't have any beforehand, but come on, man.
it's got to be so frustrating over on the side of NRG. The man stole 3 clutches away from them. It's a pretty key, impactful round.
Like, this is the
for
guy
FaZe Clan.
This is the guy that NRG should be trying to take advantage of,
Yeah.
right? They should be like, okay, Yanko's on the B bomb site. Let's just keep smashing that B bomb site. But Yanko's actually beating NRG himself.
I mean, it's a pretty key impact frags from the man.
He's a monster. Is he not fragging? I didn't quite catch a look. He had
No,
14 kills.
He's not, but he's getting a lot of
he's
getting a lot of
close to
impact
it.
kills, and he's won like 3 very important clutches.
Yeah. Definitely keeping FaZe just with the tip ahead right now.
Well, they're not a tip ahead in this round.
Woo.
There you go. Unfortunately, Yanko's luck has run out in this round in particular.
Well, it's going to have to be someone else this time. Can it be Olafmeister? He's on the off angle. Dren needs to win that aim battle, though, to make it possible at all, even if Olafmeister grabbed 1 or 2.
The other thing that's run out for FaZe is their money. 4 of their players on $1,400 to $1,700. They're winning these rounds, but it's really been the close state of affairs. And on the CT side, if that's the case, if you're not keeping multiple guns over despite winning the rounds, you're going to get your economy broken. And it's been broken as hard as it possibly could be. FaZe are on the double eco now, which means NRG potentially putting themselves in the driver's seat to pull ahead in this game. Not surprisingly, out comes the force from FaZe Clan.
Yeah, I don't want to get too caught up in the hype here around FaZe because NRG are actually still putting in some pretty good inroads actually into
The
this.
whole series, man, it's been slow and steady.
That's
from
right.
The lads on NRG.
But they're actually the ones that are, right now, I would say, in a better position than FaZe. You know,
Yep.
they're down 1 round, but
There is a big snag to still be tripped over, and that is this force bite. Execute comes out onto the A bomb site, though, and it's a double retake between Adren and Guardian, and they both get absolutely destroyed by Tarek.
yeah. NRG have been putting themselves in really good positions. They just haven't been capitalizing on the positions that they've been able to get into. So sooner or later, if you keep getting into 2v1s or 3v1s, winnable scenarios, you're going to finish those off. And I think that's really a good sign for NRG. Again, we're going to be seeing that with 5v3 here, bomb plant down, FaZe, you know, they haven't really been able to do anything in this anti-eco.
So not surprising that FaZe are playing pretty defensively, looking for some exits and just trying to hold on to these pistols because they will be making use of them in the next round. Like I said, it's double eco for the lads either way, which is meaning NRG getting the 10th round, potentially a 11th. I can't really remember, but I don't think that they've struggled on train against pistols at all. They've been fairly clean in closing out a lot of these anti-ecos, although they did lose a lot of frags from time to time. Like 3 players to blocks and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's looking a little bit more animated now for NRG after picking up the last round.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating to lose a couple of the rounds in the fashion that they did.
And goes like, come on, boys, if I can do it, you can too.
Wow. Pretty good story.
Well. Oh, it's the pink mouse pad that they're talking about. Fair enough. Maybe it won't quite be enough, though, for FaZe, right? Because
That's what I'm thinking.
I think NRG just as a team are looking better.
100%. And it really just is the case. This entire series has been, you know, FaZe, some of the individuals stepping up in certain rounds, but across the board, Olafmeister has been the main one who's been consistent, and we haven't really seen enough from Guardian or Rain to really justify a series win so far. It's really just been a very average performance across the board from FaZe and NRG. A similar state of affairs from them, although more so their overall structure is just functioning better as a team because obviously they don't have to play with a stand-in.
Yeah, most certainly. Working their way onto the bomb site, Zerk has no problem spotting the head of Rain. Some utility being thrown in there by FaZe, but it's not going to be too much of a hassle for NRG. It's like a stroll in the park.
Next round is going to be the time when it could potentially get a little bit more difficult for them once again.
I just want to make sure that NRG here don't lose too many guns, if any, right? Because 5 guns alive. Start building that T economy up. It's looking really good right now already.
Oh, it's fantastic already.
The more the better, right?
Okay, so keen to see if there's going to be any adaptation coming out from either team heading into this next round. Maybe FaZe can potentially go for something a little bit more aggressive. I don't know if they're going to have the money for the AWPs. Probably looking at pretty lackluster buy, all things considered, even after that double eco, because they won so many close rounds that their economy got reset as hard as it possibly could. They had no loss bonus to lean back on, whereas NRG, the opposite can be said. Plenty of loss bonus built up, and now that they're closing out these rounds cleanly, they have about $1 million. I'm not so good at math, but I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Okay. Seems like a lot of money, but all right. If they've got $1 million, I'm not sure why they're playing this tournament. They should be set for life.
When you split it up 5 ways, maybe not quite.
Go to Hawaii or something.
6 ways, in fact.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, NRG. This looks different.
Lining up this A play. Rain's got no utility. And Dren's got no counter flashes for him or anything. He's literally just going to have to wait here and hope he can find the opening with just the rifle, but this smoke has slowed NRG down. They're not committing through the A-ramp just yet. Flashes come over the top, and they do so. And this totem pole over towards the smoke could find a pick here for FaZe.
Yeah, could certainly. Guardian's in a great spot, but Tarek maybe even a better one. Can he double down? Needed to there, I think, for NRG. Guardian and Rain are putting in the hard yards for FaZe at the moment. Daps and Ethan left alive. Exchange of frags has favoured FaZe at this point, but we go back now into a 1v2. That was an explosion. But it actually has backfired. NRG will face the loss in this round.
Huge 3K from Guardian there. That was looking terrible for FaZe. Only Rain was the only one in the bomb site, just hiding behind that triple box. He had no support from his teammates just due to the fact that there were no real flashes. So all he is just hiding behind that triple box, and the totem poles come out where Guardian's watching the cross onto the bomb site if anyone does actually try to go and flush Rain out of that triple box. And Guardian doubled down from that position.
Yeah, I mean, as
that
soon as you
one
saw...
smoke on A-ramp bought so much time for the rotations to come out.
Yeah. Like, as soon as I saw that setup that Guardian had, the angle he had over the smoke and the position that he was looking at, it really did seem quite dire for NRG. They do get caught off guard by that. Nicely set up from FaZe. It's one round, though. We're still at 11 apiece. It's still anyone's game.
It was all that they really had working for them in that round in particular, in my opinion, but they still do get it done. So NRG, I think that round in particular, the way that it was looking like, if you pause that before everything sort of happened, I probably would have leaned heavily towards NRG and said, this is their round to lose, and they did lose it. Big play from Guardian with the 3K, and Rain just buying time as well. So now heading into this round, NRG not relying or heavily emphasizing towards the bomb site, but this time the mid control. Trying to set Tarek up in this connector area and maybe even potentially clear out that ladder room. They're doing so pretty easily. But Molotov is going to slow them down for a second. Here's the flash. Ooh, that was going to be a mid-round push from Olofmeister there, but the Molotov holds him back.
It forces him to expand his own utility as well.
This is a good position from NRG. They had control of connector.
Olof's going to be punished for this one. Breezy just wrapping around the corner, chases him down. It's a game of cat and mouse, and we know in this case the cat is going to win. Daps pushing on forward, and his way has been made a little easier there, courtesy of Ethan. Guardian now trying to step in and make a difference for FaZe, but it is just not going to happen. NRG, what a clean entry into the B bomb site. Not to mention work being done over on A. You mean, Tarek's like, okay guys, I got the A bomb site. And they're like, well, we don't care.
And a pretty similar scenario, I feel like, in that round. NRG, very, very favourable position that they set themselves up in. And this entire series, really, it feels like that from NRG. They set themselves up in very, very good positions. And unless one of these FaZe players just multi-frags or goes a bit mental, then they should be coming away with the majority of these rounds. That round, the trades were a little cleaner, much cleaner.
And it seems like right now NRG are starting to feel it, right? It's only a few rounds away. Going to be up to 12 here. 4 rounds for them. And if they get that, they qualify for Qudos Bank Arena. It'll be the first time for NRG here in IEM Sydney, getting through to playoffs. And actually the first time for FaZe missing out on playoffs as well.
Previously having won the tournament, but big asterisk on that one. It's pretty unfortunate circumstances. Not over yet, though. Although they are going to have to take the eco in this round for FaZe, it's not going to be NRG quite threatening the end of the match just yet. Once you move up to that 14-15 round sort of scoreline, that's where you get super worried as FaZe if you're out of money. But at 12, can just take the save here and wait for the next round to get things rolling.
Tarek will work his way towards short. Just spots him out, and that is enough. It was really only a sliver of that smoke that he could see through, but the spam does get the better of Tarek, and the AK goes into the hands of Olaf, though. How much more is FaZe going to be able to bring into their coffers? It seems as though it's perhaps not going to be too much. It seems as though a call also has been made by FaZe to come over toward this A bomb side. Guardian under the pressure. Olaf is the guy with the AK. Guardian with a deagle. Nothing to sneeze at. All the utility being expended by NRG, as they should. Giving FaZe no opportunity really to cause a problem here. Guardian will drop. Olaf decides that the AK is worth more than anything he could get out of this round.
Definitely. With how strong NRG's economy is at the moment, any kills that he's getting aren't really going to matter towards the tail end of this game. And if he does hold on to that AK, it makes a big difference. He can potentially drop an AUG to a teammate, which means his teammate will get a lot more utility across the board. Could even, I don't know exactly how much loss bonus they're working with here, but maybe even could drop over a... Nah, probably not an AUG at this point. But we'll see.
One step closer.
He wants the glass cannon. That's what I was thinking.
Now 3 away for NRG.
So no AWP on Guardian again. I feel like they barely had an opportunity for him to get that a lot of this CT side, on the side of FaZe. Like, the man's been multi-fragging decently with the M4, but that's a big dimension of FaZe's play sort of not there.
Yeah, money woes definitely continue here for FaZe. Only Olaf with anything left to his name after the investment from this round. So NRG have put themselves in basically the ideal position here to finish things off.
So again, NRG here going for a bit of pressure and control towards middle. Olafmeister's trying to get a bit aggressive in the mid round.
Does Zerk hang around as this smoke fades? That's going to get the better of him. No! What a flick! Zerk says bye-bye, Adren. And you can't feel too happy with that. It is what it is, though. You're going to have to play the round out 4v5 now.
NRG just slowing things down now that they do know they have the man advantage. Start to make their way into middle a little bit more, potentially. Nope. Gonna leave Tarek to lurk in through the late round and potentially group up towards one of these bomb sites. At the moment, they're really just waiting for FaZe to overextend, make a push in the man disadvantageous situation.
English is hard.
Bit of a struggle.
Yeah, we're getting there.
And looks like NRG, they're just going to group up between Underpass and Tarek in middle and try to go for a bit of an A-split. Which with the positioning of FaZe Clan could be actually very problematic. If Olafmeister finds the right timing in the mid-round, he could get 1 to 2 free kills. Rain as well could play the angles around this jungle area.
Oh, how many angles? Well, not enough. Daps just cleans him up. Everyone is getting cleaned up on FaZe. NRG have just walked into the bomb site and said, thank you very much.
I feel like there wasn't even any hands on mouse for NRG there. It was literally just left hand on WASD, right hand furiously smashing the delete key on FaZe's players.
May as well have been what it was. Yanko is on his own in middle. We've seen him clutch a few rounds out, but this one is definitely too much to ask for.
On the 14th round, I mean, like you said, Olafmeister's the only one who has any money.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that's not Guardian. There we go. Can be confusing with this European AWPers sometimes. You never know. Pretty dire state of affairs for the FaZe clan, unfortunately. Olaf's going to have to go for the pistol armor. The rest of the lads just buying pistols across the board. And that's going to give NRG big potential to threaten match point here. And even if FaZe do come back into this game,
I don't know that FaZe is coming back into this one. I think it's...
I mean, let's
largely
talk about it, right? Like, yeah, NRG gets the 15th here. If they close this anti-eco out cleanly, then FaZe have a pretty good buy. But they need to win these rounds and win them cleanly heading forward, because if they're only winning with one alive, you get that 3.5k across the board and only one of your players has a gun at the end of the round like they were in the earlier parts of the half.
Yeah, but when you consider how FaZe have even managed to get this close off the back of all of these clutches that Yanko, of all people, has been able to gift to FaZe.
That's what I was thinking as well.
You know, this
should
could be over.
Be this close. It was the same thing on Train. I was feeling like the first half looked relatively close, and then a couple of rounds going the way of FaZe with some big plays. But overall, I have to say NRG is looking like the much more solid team here. And
I agree.
just, you know, the stand-in factor. I feel like maybe if Nico was here, that would push them over the top.
Yeah, well, it's always going to be a factor. It's always going to be something that is talked about in the future when the context of these matches is brought up. But, you know, FaZe is still a strong side, even without Nico.
They are, and they're showing it. Double digits. Every single game.
I don't think you can take anything away from NRG here either. They've played a good game of Counter-Strike. They're going to be the team that'll go through to Qudos Bank Arena, and they deserve it.
Well, hold on. Still got another gun round to play yet.
Well, we do indeed. Maybe a few more, but it's really looking like it's NRG's to lose now.
So this time it's the AWP on Olofmeister towards that short position. He hasn't been able to find a lot of opportunities to get aggressive in the mid-round. Oh my god, Ethan. And how are you hitting these, man?
NRG storming their way onto the A-bomb site. This is all but done. FaZe are going to have to execute a 3v5 retake on the A site. Once NRG get a bit of a wriggle on and put that bomb down.
Just taking their time, making sure that they deny any potential aggression, and they do so perfectly.
Well, Olaf's been given an opportunity here, though, with the AWP, but he's lost his remaining teammate, and now Olaf is going to have to get the ace clutch in a 1v3. It seems impossible. What can Olofmeister do here? He's got a bit of time to work with, no defuse kit, and peeks right out into the sightline of Cirque. So that'll be that. NRG are the third team through to the Qudos Bank Arena, and it looks like a pretty standard day at the office there for NRG, all things considered.
Yeah, they just grinded out the game, always playing to their strengths, and despite a couple little snags that they tripped over from FaZe, they were still able to get back up in the end and close out the game.
Still plenty more to think about, though, when we consider that the next matchup is going to be Fnatic, MIBR, and then where everyone ends up finding themselves into those quarterfinal and semi-final matches. NRG are going to be awaiting Fnatic and the winner of that match against MIBR in the match for the semi-final. But, of course, what we are awaiting is the analyst desk.